They say that what's inside is what counts, but I say it's what you do that marks the measure of a man. And Vito, I'm very honored that you asked me to be your best man. But in reality, the best man here tonight is you. And I promise that, Rachel, I'll always take care of you. I promise, Daddy. I will always take care of you.
Phyllis? Hey, babe, it's me.
Poppy's teaching you bad words?
Vafangu.
Vafangu.
Vafangu. Mozzarella. Mozzarella. Salud.
Salud.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jules Pordell's Copacabana proudly presents the star of our show, Rick Daniels.
I thank you. I'd like to do a song now that I have no right in the world in doing. Inasmuch as that I'm single and I don't know that much about life, but I'm willing to learn. Anyway, I'd like to be able to look back on my life and say that whatever I've become, right or wrong, good or bad, I've become so because I did it my way. And now the end is near, and so I'll face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, they're too few to mention. I did what I had to do. Then I saw through.
Yes, Manny's amazing musical career had its roots in a life lived his way. Born on Halloween, 1946, to parents Fanny, a seamstress, and Vito, who was, let's just say, well-connected in the Italian world, Manny had a childhood filled with laughter and music. Manny's sensational tenor voice caught the attention of Salvatore Baccaloni, who wanted to groom him for a career in opera. His first recording, at the age of 15, received national acclaim. So Manny took a different musical path, his way, and transformed into the ruggedly handsome and dashing Rick Daniels. He started out doing local club dates as a crooner of Italian love songs, then toured the Playboy clubs across the United States with the Gold Diggers, was on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show on one New Year's Eve and landed a 5-year contract at Jules Padel's Copacabana in New York City. The columnists compared him to Engelbert Humperdinck, only better looking and a better showman and a better vocalist. Women swooned over him. Rick was captivating.
Oh no, don't go. It's ours till dawn. And there's no one who'd rather be with you. My father has to be considered one of the great lovers of all times, and I take after him in this respect, of the opera. And it has always been his contention for me to sing more seriously. So at this time, I'd like to give you my own interpretation, as taught to me by my father, of the aria from Pagliacci, what it means to me. And it goes something like this. Recitar mentre presso dal delirio non so più quel che dico e quel che faccio, eppure dopo sforzati sei tu passerà. What kind of lips are these? They lied with every kiss. Then they whispered empty words of love. And now I'm alone like this. Why can't I fall in love like any other man? And maybe then I know what kind of fool I've la giuba per la faccia infarina. La gente paga e ridere vuole, se alla china d'invola robina ridi pagliaccio e ognuno l'applaudirà. Velena.
In 1973, when Rick Daniels was deep into his successful nightclub career, he held auditions for a body and soul revue he hoped to produce. And that's when he met me, Phyllis Feinberg, from Philadelphia. He said when he first saw me, he heard violins. We were married exactly 7 months later on St. Patrick's Day in 1974. But Rick was intent on writing and recording his own original material, his way. So we moved from New York City to Atlanta, Georgia, and together formed the band Virgin Thunder. Mother Nature was recorded in our basement and about to change our lives.
Together we can make this world
Manny's rock and roll vision soon became a reality in his way. Music mogul and publisher Bill Lowry of Lowry Music took an interest in our original songs, along with Joel Katz of Cat Family CBS Records. Celebrated record producer Sonny Limbo saw the magic in stacking our vocals into a wall of sound and developed what soon would be the American ABBA, and the hit duo UNIPOP was born. We tested our unique sound as background vocalists for Bertie Higgins' hit record, Key Largo, which skyrocketed to a platinum #1 on the American Top 40. We then composed the songs for our own album, Unilove, which featured the song Evolution on the cover. Our message was simple: two people in love through the ages. The single, What If, was released on CBS Records in 1982. It went to #1 on WAVE in Savannah, along with many other American radio stations. And it had international success in Germany, Sweden, the Netherlands, and Japan. It debuted at #71 with a bullet on Billboard magazine's Top 100. We recorded our album Unilove in both Atlanta and Lookout Mountain, Tennessee. It was released in 1983. The head honchos at CBS Records were dancing on their rooftop to the disco beat of Love at First Touch and Catch Me 'Cause I'm Falling. UNIPOP, having just released the album Unilove, was featured on the cover of both Cashbox and Billboard magazine. We were the hottest up-and-coming group in the nation, and we were sharing our story with the world. But it was Let's Make Magic that was first slated to be our big breakout record. We filmed a video on the rooftop of an old abandoned castle in New York. It was supposed to promote the hit single upon release, when it started to climb the charts on Halloween. For UNIPOP, it was a major market magic carpet ride. And for us, well, it was truly a magical time. Manny's 50-year piano tuning career started at Steinway & Sons Pianos in Astoria, Long Island, New York, when he was about 17 years old. At that time, he was one of only 50 applicants accepted into the tuning and tone regulating department at the Steinway factory. Based on the accuracy of his ear, he had perfect pitch. Manny left Steinway in 1968 to pursue his singing career. He was a vocalist by night and a piano tuner by day. And, in his way, that dual life continued for the next 17 years. When we first moved to Atlanta, Manny had a weekly club date at the Fairmont at Colony Square as Rick Daniels. He arrived in a tuxedo, slicked back hair, shined up dress shoes, contacts, handsome and sexy. The check was made out to Rick Daniels. However, during the day, he was the piano tuner for the same entertainment room in the same hotel, in his dressed-down piano tuning attire, glasses, and baseball cap. The check was made out to Emanuel Loiacono. The manager and Manny would talk about the great entertainer who was appearing there called Rick Daniels. He never knew Rick and Emanuel were the same person. True story. Manny's piano tuning career was solid from day one. He tuned for celebrities Ray Charles, Count Basie, Mel Torme, Tony Bennett, Phyllis Diller, and the great classical pianist Arthur Rubinstein. Yet, it was the lifetime customers he tuned for over the years who meant the most to him. And I quote from an interview with Voyage Atlanta magazine, "My customers are my friends, and their pianos are my babies."
This cheerful guy with, I believe it was a New York Yankees baseball cap, showed up at the door. That was a good sign because growing up, my hero was Mickey Mantle, and he was a Mantle fan too, so something else we had in common. Showed up at the door, and the first thing he asked me was, "Okay, where's the patient?" The fun that I had with every Manny visit, because he'd always have stories to tell about how he learned the trade at the Steinway factory, talking movies, talking sports, but I'm lucky to have known him. He was a genuine Renaissance man. I think of him, and I thank him every time I sit down at this piano.
Although our paths only crossed once a year, I felt we had a wonderful friend that came to visit us and just happened to stay and tune our piano. I will miss his wonderful, happy outlook on life, and I thank God that he certainly blessed my life by just being Manny.
I looked forward to his visits every year. I enjoyed always asking him about his family and watching his face light up the room. Phyllis, he loved you beyond measure. And the children, he would absolutely glow when he spoke of you, talking about your accomplishments, your interests. He was so very, very proud of you. He was a kind and gentle soul, and I know he will be greatly missed by everyone who knew him.
The harmony nature of music is something that's very important to me, and it's very important to Manny. The standards being high is important to him, it's important to me. And it was just an honor.
Manny prided himself in his tuning technique, by ear, not electronically. He said, "Pianos are acoustical instruments. They are imperfect and should not match up to a perfect device. That is why a piano tuned by ear has soul, and a piano tuned by Manny had extra soul." But the greatest joy in Manny's career was to teach his son, Manny Jr., how to tune a piano and see him follow in his footsteps.
When I was in my early 20s, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do with my life. My dad never pushed me in any one direction or even into the direction of tuning pianos. But occasionally he would suggest that I accompany him on a call. And now I know that in his way, he was introducing me to the world that he lived in, a world filled with harmony and balance, and to the customer interaction that he appreciated so much. He truly loved what he did. He loved the instrument, he loved the music, and the experience of making his customers happy, of making you all happy. And he realized I had an ear even before I did. And when Dad shared his secret formula with me, which is his version of the equal temperament, which is the beginning and foundation of every piano tuning that I do. And when he saw that I had a genuine desire to follow in his footsteps, he literally lit up with excitement and pride. He would come home from work and sit with me for hours at the piano, and he would say, "This is so exciting, and I'm so happy to be teaching you this."
Well, besides being prolific at making great music, Manny was also pretty good at making babies, with a little help from me. First, our oldest son Vito, born in August 1976. Then Rachel, in January 1981. And Manny Jr. in November of 1985. Our family circle of 5 was very close, and life was happy and fulfilling. The children grew older, as did we. Manny and I were living the lyrics to our music.
I remember my dad with that giant RCA camcorder on his shoulder, always recording our lives. And now when I go back and watch those videos, he's not often in the frame, but he's always there the whole time, narrating our childhoods and our lives. And it's incredible to go back and watch and experience our lives through his voice. You know, the one thing that stands out to me the most about my father was his incredible and immense love for his family and the closeness of our family bond. The love he shared with my mom, which was so passionate and so intense that they wrote an entire music album about it. And they made that video. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to family. You know, that's what really mattered most to my dad. The family circle that we shared and the closeness and how tight that circle was. The togetherness.
From the very moment that I came into this world, my dad has been my protector. He was the first man to show me what true love was. He often told me about the time when I was a newborn baby, and he was holding me in the car one night and how beautiful the moonlight was reflecting off of my face. He promised me then that he would always take care of me, and that is exactly what he did. Even at the very end, when I curled up next to him, I had my head on his shoulder, scared and heartbroken. His subtle gestures made me feel safe and secure. Even then, he was protecting me. And I know this may sound cliche, but he truly was the best daddy in the world. And I'm so lucky that I got to be his little girl.
I love my dad. My brother, sister, and I were blessed with the best father anyone could ever hope to have. Every day of my life, from the time I was little to when I was grown, he encouraged, inspired, and supported me, and showed me his love every chance that he could. Whether he was teaching me how to swing a baseball bat when I was 5, or how to prepare a gourmet Italian meal when I was 25, or helping me find the right words to say when I needed them the most. Dad was always all in and always there. Anytime that I would walk into a room, he greeted me with his big belly laugh, his outstretched arms, followed by a huge hug and a kiss that let me know he loved me with all of his heart. And my dad had a huge heart.
At midnight, he would sit at the piano under a big ball-shaped lamp that looked like the moon and play original chords. I would hear them in the kitchen and come up to sit next to him, singing a melody line to his chords. And before we knew it, we had written a song. When our house in Kingston Square was about to be built and I was pregnant with Manny Jr., we drove to that big mound of dirt that would soon become our front yard and sat in the beautiful glow of an orange setting sun, dreaming about our house, our life, and our kids. And he pointed to the sunset. That's where I'll be. Of course, I cried and I said, "Oh, no, no, no. I'll go first." And then Manny said something funny to make me laugh, instantly turning tears to laughter, as only he could do. And we had made a memory. Well, as our journey through life continued, our family circle expanded to include son-in-law John and daughter-in-law Helen. And then came along the little ones, who loved and adored their Poppy Manny. Emma, Logan, Haley, Charlie, and little Parker Ann.
When he loved something, he was all in. The Republican Party, the Atlanta Braves, cooking, online shopping, his family. Most importantly, he loved his family dearly. He was a family man and someone I truly look up to. You made me feel right at home. From the first day that we met, you welcomed me with open arms. I won't forget. I'll be sure to carry on your legacy. Never forget what a truly great man you are.
I just want to say thank you so much for welcoming me into this family. It's one of the best things that's ever happened in my life. I'll never forget the first time that I met you. You had those sparkly eyes and warm laughter and then you cooked shortly thereafter, and it was amazing. I'm so happy to see glimpses of you and your grandchildren.
I love how my name is after you because I get to remember you every time I hear it.
I know I'm keeping you busy up there with all the trouble I get into. I hope you're having a good time up there.
One of my best memories that I ever got to have with you was when you sat there on the couch and you taught me how to say mozzarella in Italian.
I know that you're in a better place now. I hope you come to visit us soon.
I know you're so sweet, Poppy, and I love you with all my heart.
Are you riding so you'll never ever leave from beside me?
Vaffanculo.
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 I'm teaching you bad words in Italian.
Yeah.
What's it mean?
And then you do this.
Vaffanculo.
Mozzarella.
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 Oh yeah? How about this?
Simply put, Manny's presence lit up the room. He was a force to be reckoned with. Funny, intense, emotional, and strong. He was loved by all because he did it all his way.
I love you both. So, ask me to be your best man. But in reality, the best man here tonight is you.
Salud. Salud.
Salud.
We're not going to get through this dinner.
There's going to be leftovers.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's going to take forever.
I love everybody here.
I love everybody.
And we're all thankful.
Manny was always full of surprises. One morning, when he was in his mid-50s or so, he decided to make an original gift for his Aunt Antoinette, who was celebrating her 85th birthday in New York. And he did it his way. He walked into our master bathroom with a camcorder and a boombox, and this is what I heard.
I haven't performed the song in about 29, 30 years. I can't remember all the words, but it goes something like this. All'alba vincerò, vincerò, vincerò.
what Manny did do to change my life happened when I was about 14 to 15 years old. My good friend, me, Vito, Josh, and Brian all lived in the same Kingston Square subdivision together and came up. And as boys would be, we didn't always do smart stuff. And Brian and I decided to vandalize a kid in the neighborhood's house one time. And it was pretty serious. It was the talk of the neighborhood. And we were over at the Loiacono house in the kitchen, and Manny asked us about it, and we said, yeah, it was me and Brian, and we were gonna tell them about it and tell our parents. And Manny looked me in the eyes and he said, no, you're not. Get in the truck. And we got in that red Ford F-150, and we went over to that boy's house, and we knocked on the door, and he said, sir, these boys have something they want to tell you. And he said, okay. We went into that man's living room and sat on his living room couch. Manny sat down in a chair across from the gentleman who was the father of the boy that we were targeting. And he said, these boys have something they want to say. And we said, we're sorry, you know, we were the ones that did it, and we want to make it right. The man got up, started to walk towards the kitchen. He says, I'm going to call your parents and I'm going to call the police. And Manny looked him in the eyes in his own living room and said, sit down. And he did. He said, these boys have said they're sorry. They're going to cause you no more trouble. And you're going to take this money. And he reached into his pocket. And anybody knows Manny, he has walking money. So handed it to the man. He said, this is the end of it. And the man looked at Manny, and it didn't take him 2 seconds to say, yes, sir, in his own living room. Now, I didn't know that at the time, but that was probably one of the most important things that ever happened in my life. I was wowed by it. It was an impact that guided me on, you know, what it meant to be a man, what it meant to do the right thing, but also what it meant to see character in people, even people who have mistakes, and to help them when they need it.
I think about my dad's sense of humor. He's one of the funniest men I've ever met. Always the life of the party. He could always light up a room, always bring a smile to your face. And much like his father, my papi Vito, he used to love teasing us as kids. You know, I mean, if he liked you, he teased you. And then sometimes he teased you if he didn't like you, but we won't go there. You know, that sense of humor was pretty twisted, especially when he teamed up with my mom and played pranks on us as kids. One time when I was probably 14 or 15, my parents actually had me convinced that I was an alien from another planet and that our family was sent here to monitor and observe the humans. True story. I actually believed that for 2 weeks, and you know, the jury's still out on that one.
I remember when I was still in the earlier part of my basketball career on a rec all-star team. I was the younger one on the team, and I didn't get very much playing time, and the team didn't take me very seriously, although I made the team. I sat on the bench for the majority of the time, and at the championship game, I got to go in for the last 3 minutes of the game. But I scored all 3 times. After the game, the opposing team's coach came up to me and he said, well, where have you been all game? They've been hiding their biggest weapon. But I was still upset. On the ride home, I was in tears and down about not feeling good enough. My dad said to me, Rachel, you should have been out there playing. But it's okay. It's going to make you stronger. And you're going to rise from this. And you're going to leave all those other players in the dust. You will get stronger when there's adversity. You will make it. You will, mark my words, he would say. And sure enough, I did. I wasn't a coach's daughter, but I had the best coach of any of them, and my father.
My 2 passions in life are piano tuning and golf. Neither of my parents ever played golf, but both of them inspired me to play when I took an interest in learning the game. My mom drove me all over Georgia to different golf tournaments. My dad coached me in between lessons to keep me sharp, even though he never swung a club in his life. Dad would walk the course with me on those early mornings when the dew was fresh, and the mist was rising off the fairway, and the morning light shining through the trees. And sometimes we would drive instead of walk the course. And on occasion, he would try to run me over with the cart when I ran my mouth, which was common for me at the age of 12. But that was a form of my father's tough love. And it never, ever failed. He would always take me to the clubhouse grill at the end of each round, whether my attitude was bad or good. And he would treat me to lunch, and it made for the perfect day.
We celebrated Manny's amazing life at St. Michael's Catholic Church. We would have preferred to have done it his way, with a huge Italian buffet of chicken marsala and Chianti. But because of the COVID pandemic, we just had to, in Manny's words, forget about it. Our tribute was heartfelt and powerful, so well-deserved by this one-of-a-kind man who had such a huge heart.
You don't need to start me now, Rachel. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Yeah, of course. Yes. Good. Another bug. Poor Daddy. Oh,
Sorry.
maybe another one. How do I?
There's only one person.
I'll put my mask back on.
Even on his last day, we still shared that special bond. We all got the phone call. It was a cold day in January, and we dropped whatever we were doing and rushed to my dad's place. My mom left her house, I left work early, Manny left a tuning, Rachel came in from Auburn. And we opened the door, expecting the worst, and my dad was there sitting on the couch, Fox News on, and inhaling a bowl of spaghetti and flirting with the nurse. So it was just another day, false alarm. But we were all there, and we stayed and hung out. Me, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, and Uncle Pete. We laughed, we cried, we told stories, and we reminisced through the day and into the night. All of us together. And as my dad took his last breath, we were all there, hugging him tight one last time as a family. And my mom told him, Manny, it's okay. It's okay to go. And he did. And he felt our love, and I know that he was at peace as he was embraced by his family to the very end. And although it won't be the same when we all get together, or when I sit down for dinner with my family. But I know that my dad will be there in spirit, always watching over us, never too far away, and that the most important thing he taught me, more than anything else, is that it's okay to hold your loved ones tight and to keep them close, always. And so with that, I'd like to make a toast to you, Dad. Thank you for all the laughs and the smiles. Thank you for your love and your guidance. Thank you for believing in me and for helping create this beautiful family. I'm so lucky to be able to call you my dad, and I'm so proud to be your son. I'll always miss you, and I'll always love you. I'm not going to say goodbye, because I know that we will meet again. But until then, I know that you're always looking out over us, always and forever. Salute, Dad.
I've loved, and I've laughed and cried. I've had my fill, my share of losing.
The world, our world, my world, has lost a very, very bright light without you. The kids and me, we love you, and we'll meet you on the other side. And babe, through the laughter and the tears, I say to you, just like you said to me, we had one hell of a ride, didn't we?
For what? What is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not. To say that